welcome to the channel, and today we'll be talking about the ETA Mini Semi-Closed Headphone. I like to call it the Mini SC to shorten it up a little bit. And these are a part of a loaner tour that I am partaking in, and they will be going out to the next person here shortly. But yeah, ETA has not asked me to say or do anything other than my honest opinion regarding these. So let's dive into what these are all about. Alright, so diving into the build quality is honestly excellent as far as just overall like feel of it. I mean, that's going to be hit or miss for some people. I think personally, even though it's 3D printed, they're actually very solid. They don't feel like they're going to crumble or break or anything like that. The kind of Sony Monitor Studio headband is excellent and well done. All the hardware feels solid. It's a very light feeling headphone. It's very, not very heavy at all, but that doesn't detract from it feels quality, even though it's light and 3D printed. It does actually feel very nice. Mind you, the 3D printed is a texture. You're going to feel the ridges and what have you, and if you touch that, but that's, here or there, it is a DIY 3D printed headphone, so that's just comes with the territory. But overall, I'm actually impressed with the build quality. It's solid. It doesn't feel chintzy. It doesn't feel like it's going to break or fall apart at all. I like how that they integrated the ear pads, just slip over the top of the cup like that. It makes it easy to take them on and off. It's kind of like a no frills, get the job done studio monitor. And it kind of has that feel to it. And it's enjoyable as far as like build. Like, it's kind of nice. It's kind of just an excellent no frills build, but solidly done. Going into the aesthetics, that's going to be hit or miss, like all things in aesthetics. Some people are going to hate it, some people are going to love it, some people are going to be indifferent. So I'm honestly, initially was kind of like, with 3D printed, because usually 3D printed usually doesn't mean the best aesthetics. But honestly, when, looking at these, and if you put them on, they actually remind me of like a solid studio monitor, like you'd see, in a pro shop or something like that. And they're light, they're easy to put on, they're aesthetically, I think they look good on the head. The form factor is decent and looks good, and they fold up to make it easy to, travel with and what have you, or easier to travel with, and you throw them into a bag and then throw them into your bigger bag. So it makes them easy. And then also, as far as build goes, back to the build and aesthetics part of this, they can be powered by almost anything and sound great. That's another thing that I found really impressive with these. I've mostly been listening to them out of my niche Piety little amp here, and also some other things, but I tried them on my MacBook Pro out, headphone out, which it's really good, actually, just straight from that out. I would have used them on some of my other amps, but they're still being built. So, but more or less, I tried them with all my portable stuff and some of my basic solid state stuff that I had on hand, and they all sounded great with these. And then going back into the aesthetic, like I said, hit or miss. I think they are great for what they are, and I think that I kind of like the low profile look of them, and like the low, not very flashy. I wouldn't worry about these going into a coffee shop and kind of, getting a cup of coffee real quick and not worrying about somebody trying to snag them necessarily. I still wouldn't leave them alone, but that's something to, take into account. All right, so sounds. Let's start with the highs. Highs are extremely smooth. Like, I was very impressed with the highs. Very detailed and smooth and easy to get along with. I never really had them kind of peak or go into sibilance. The only time that I really did have that kind of a peak is actually playing video games and like playing like Call of Duty or something like that. With gunfire, it would be like a gunfire, like piercing, like, so it was actually more realistic. But as far as anything else, like, I never really had any issues with hi-hats or anything like that. In fact, I really enjoyed percussion with these, and like the hi-hats and like general drum sounds and or even percussion sounds with metallics and that kind of thing. I'm trying to think of the instrument for that, like where how it's not harpsichord, but anyways, where they hit the little high bright sounding metal sounds. Really enjoyed the highs. They were fantastic. Really good. It's smooth, easy to get along with, and just I never had any issue with them. The mids are very well done as well, but they're very neutral. So in my personal preference, I would usually prefer something a little bit warmer in the mids, or a little more forward in the mids. But these were they weren't like necessarily sucked out or anything like that, but they were just so neutral that I just didn't like they didn't push into my realm of where I'd want them. And at times it did seem, and this could have been the recording and not the headphones themselves, and because the mids were like very neutral to me, it did sound like sometimes like the artists when they're singing, where if I get real close to the mic, you can get this kind of intimate sound, but if I get pulled back, you get this kind of it gives like this weird distance sound. You kind of lose some of that emphasis in the mids or the vocals, and it did get that. So I'm wondering if that was more of the tracks than these, and these just being so neutral in the mids that it just picked that up even more. So take that into account. But the lows are fantastic. Very punchy, very crisp, very nice. I didn't get them to be bloomy or boomy that much. They were just they were very excellent. And honestly, for the price, these are probably some of the best under $1,000 headphones I've heard in a very long time. Like, we're very impressed by these. And the fact that they're a DIY small little team putting these together is even more impressive. And I can't wait to see where ETA goes with this as they build their own custom headbands. They start getting injection molding opportunities, maybe. Just in general, they have multiple different headphones. By the way, this is I think one of 4 different headphones that they have. They have like an open back, they have an on ear, and then a full closed, I believe. And so yeah, these are impressive, and I definitely think that for the sound and price performance, it's really, really good. And going into the imaging detail and stage for these, the imaging is also, like, I was very impressed with the imaging and the detail, especially. Like, it was a very solid sounding headphone. Like, this is, everything I'd want like like a 650 to be, or like something, you know what I mean? Like everything that you'd want. It doesn't have the veil, it doesn't have anything like that, like the 650, but it still has that nice punchy, like that low end, I guess. And the 650 is not my favorite headphone, so I don't know why I'm comparing it to this. But this one is unique and it's excellent. The image, like I said, the imaging was far and away one of the better factors in the detail you can get with that. The stage is a little bit kind of the classic headphone where it's kind of closed in, but not overly so. It's, it has a nice depth and width, but it's not like going to be like HD 800 wide or anything like that. But the imaging is where I'd say was this thing's kind of the highlight in that regard, and also the detail. Going into kind of TLDR, really enjoyed these with everything from movies, video games, and music to like just basically all media consumption. It was crazy how I throw these on and would forget they're on my head and would just be enjoying the music or enjoying the video game playing, enjoying a movie or a show or what have you. Like they just disappeared. And to me, that is what makes a good product in the realm of audio, right? Where you lose the thought that you're listening to a headphone and you're just enjoying whatever you're enjoying, like music to games to movies or, media. And yeah, I was very impressed by the fact that they just disappeared and I just enjoyed using them. Like I would just grab them and start using them without thinking, oh, do I want something with a little more bass or something like that? It was just, nope, they just kind of did it all and was really, really excellent at them. So yeah, that's kind of my overall thoughts on these too. Like, it's just that these just disappear on the head and they are honestly well worth everyone's time to seek them out and try to get some head time with them, especially if you go into a can jam and they're there, or any kind of local meetup and someone has a pair. Definitely seek them out and give them a listen, because I'd be very curious to see what people's thoughts are on them, because everyone I've talked to is just fallen in love with these, and they are, yeah, and I definitely have as well. They're doing some good stuff there. So TLDR, ETA Mini Semi-Closed, fantastic sounding headphone, and highly recommend them for everyone to go check out if they get the opportunity to, and just give them some head time, because these are excellent. And I think everyone would walk away very impressed with the sound of these headphones, especially coming from any source. Like, and they get better, or they're good, and they can get better with higher end gear or scale up, I guess we want to call it that. But I mean, I enjoyed them off of pretty much everything I put them on, from the MacBook to an iPad to my niche Piety here to the Phonitor XE to I had the Griffin, I had a little iffy Griffin, and the one little iffy bars things, and they just amazing how good these sound. Even little dongles off the iPad. So yeah, excellent, easy to power, easy to basically let them sing. they do their job, and it's great. So highly recommend them, and definitely if you get the chance, check them out. And yeah, with that, I will let everyone get back to their morning, afternoon, evening. Cheers. It's got the Harman curve basically, which one of the best sounding Harman curved headphones. I don't want to talk about Harman curve.